Well, hey everybody, Ken Plume here. Hi, it's me. Uh, you may have seen the little live video that I did the other day where I tested a little notion that I had about being able to remove the plastic bubbles from the figures that I'm opening because I like to save the card backs and I like to preserve as much of the artwork as I can. And I did that to a few figures. Here's one of the card backs. You can see it was pretty successful. This is a modern vintage collection figure. This is certainly more intact than the usual artwork removal methodology I have, which is basically just carefully removing it. You can see it tears away some of the package. So that was pretty successful. But I had a subscriber to my YouTube channel. I assume they're a subscriber. I hope they are. If you're not on my YouTube channel, please subscribe as well. But I had them ask if I could do an episode 1 Phantom Menace figure to see how it works with that. So basically the whole thing was taking this little handheld heat gun and heating up via the back of the card around the edges to get that plastic bubble off there while preserving as much of the artwork as possible. So this is an older figure. We'll see what happens. This also has the Comtech chip. I mean, it really doesn't, it's not going to melt the figure. It is going to melt the bubble a little bit, but hopefully free it up. And I don't want to damage that Comtech chip. So I'm going to try and be careful. I'm going to see what happens. I'm doing it this Naboo Royal Guard, with blaster pistol and helmet. This is, I think I only have 10 figures left to finish out the complete run of the original episode 1 figure releases. Will I finish that? Should I finish that? I don't know. We'll see what happens. But in the interim, this is a recent pickup. This came in the mail last week. So let's see how this works. We're going to turn this thing on, and we're going to see if we can free this thing. I kind of would like to get that Comtech chip out of there first. So we'll see what happens. Here we go. This is it. This is live. If you have questions, feel free to ask. If you're watching this in the future, feel free to ask in the comments, and we'll see what happens. So right now, let me see how this goes. Here we go. Yeah, I know this is really scintillating. Incredible viewing experience for all of you. Okay, so we've heated this up a little bit on this corner here. Let's see if it's getting liftable. Get the okay, yeah. So it is. It is certainly. It's the thing. I can't. I only have 2 hands, and setting this down. Got to make sure I turn it off because I don't want the heat gun just pointed at random things on my desk. So, okay. So I'll turn this off. Set this down. Use this. See what we can lift up. This little corner right here. Is it coming up just a little bit? I mean, it definitely wants to lift. I mean, that's the problem with this. It's just getting it started is the important thing. Okay, let's turn this thing back on. I really need to get some kind of setup where I can mount the heat gun and be able to move the card back around it. Okay, so you can see right there the heat gun was. It's lifting a little bit. Okay. So, you know what? Going from the Comtech side, I mean, it's lifted, but I'm lifting a little bit of the artwork, and I don't want to do that, so I'm going to try going over to this side. Try and start over here. And hey, anyone who's watching live, thanks. I mean, probably better things to do on an evening, I would think. I would hope, but you chose this. And that means you're probably bored. Maybe interested. Ooh, that's hot. Okay. reflexes in action. Okay, so that's lifting a little bit, and then it's starting to catch the artwork, so I don't want to do that. It really is just getting this dang thing started. This has taken a lot longer than the TVC did. But of course, the TVC bubble has only been stuck there for a few years, whereas this has been on for 25 years. Okay, so I'm going to see if we can't get this started on this side. After the proof of concept on the vintage collection, I was kind of hoping that this one would go easier. How to burn yourself live. Yeah. Try and be a little safer than that. At least try to be. Okay, there we go. Okay, get that started. It's coming off better than just straight up tearing it. It's not the best, though. So it may just be more difficult for these older figures. Than the more modern ones. Okay. Gee, I hope everyone's doing well tonight. While you're watching this. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's certainly warmer than warm to touch that. Okay, well, it's not perfect. It's not a straight up tear, though. And, the card back's fine on the back. It's not like the amount of heat coming off this thing is going to do anything serious to that cardboard. Do a little don't. But it's also not smart just to touch the cardboard. Okay, get that peeled up. This is not as perfect as the TVC. Definitely. And this also may just be just this card. Another Episode 1 figure might go better than this. It's not going awful. This is certainly better than straight up tearing it, as far as preserving the card back. And for those wondering, this is just I like keeping the card backs on the figures that I have, just because they're fun to look at. Okay, a little bit more. I can lift and separate with this one hand while the heat is on it. That is certainly the ideal situation. But that takes a level of dexterity and coordination. Ow! That is a little difficult. I'm certainly going to try. Remembering that if I feel something hot, I should stop. Okay. Try and around that corner now. Again, I mean, it's better than tearing. We'll compare it to that Sidious card in a second. So you can see that it is better. It's not ideal, but it's certainly better than tearing it. And this is taking off a little more in this center section. Maybe because I need to let it sit for a little more before trying to lift it. Oh, so help if I knew where I was pointing the heat, huh? Okay. It's a little toasty. Okay. Just about there. You know what? We're going to get the figure out now. There's no sense in holding on to that. Move him aside. Okay. I mean, it's still better. Not best. And it is a little unbelievable that folks are still watching this. Okay, let's try and get this the rest of the way. Left a little more of this. Hot, hot, hot. Okay. Well, we're nearly there. I honestly thought this was going to go, and I hoped it was going to go a little faster than this. But, you know, the best laid plans of mice and Ken. Around in that corner. I mean, still, it's better than the other. I want to get that comb chip out of there, though, and there's just not quite enough freed up to do that just yet. So let's see if we can concentrate on this side. Okay. Yeah, that is just tearing image. And I think if I had a mechanism set up or easily move the card around, that would be the more ideal way to go about this. Yeah, see, it's just there. It's not quite melting the card like I would like it to. Okay. Slow and steady wins the race. Let's go back to this corner where we're having a little more luck. Try lifting it with. No, it's just tearing the. Well, is it? Or is it lifting? No, it's tearing. It's tearing it. Well, now, I'm curious if all of these are going to be as bad, if it's just an issue with this particular card. I mean, I don't like the idea that maybe I just got super lucky on the other one. Yeah, see, look, it's just starting to tear up the artwork there. I'll try and come in from the front to see if that helps any. No, that's just tearing up the artwork there. Let's see if we can go around this side. It seems like it's just drying, or solidifying, I should say. A little too fast for the peel. I do want to get that Comtech chip out of the way, though. So you can see where it wants to come loose there. That's doing better than the other was doing. And then, we got the Comtech chip is not hot. So, hopefully the Comtech chip is fine. Well, this is going a little better now. And that's the part where it had already torn. So we're nearly there. And it is certainly not the ideal situation I was hoping for based on what we did in the last video. That's lifted. It's already tearing. So we slice off where that is. Okay, well, it's off. Not the best. Certainly not the best. Certainly not as great as the TVC was. TVC, we had a lot more success. So that's how the card back looks now. That's just slicing it off. Just doing a lift and separate around the card bubble. So, better, not ideal. So, I kind of want to see what a TVC looks like. Just to see if the modern figures, maybe the glue's just not as strong. Let's do real quick before we end. And I'm not going to say that the Phantom Menace cards are a failure just yet in using this method, but let's see if our earlier success with the TVC cards. This is the new Cassian Andor re-release with the photo reel. Let's see. This one. Is a little bit better. Let's see if we can start that lifting. I mean, you can already see it is loads better than what we just had happening with that Phantom Menace card. So, could just be that one particular card in glue is not good. And maybe it was the age of it. The fact that it had been attached for a quarter of a century. I'm trying to lift it with one finger. Whoop. Pushing with my thumb as I'm moving this thing around. I mean, you can already see we're having a much better time of this than we did with that Phantom Menace card. Nearly there. Nearly there. I mean, this... Yeah, a little bit on the edge down there. That was a... I mean... This might have just been, again, trying to get around it quickly, but it's a lot better look than trying to slice it off. Preserve much more of the artwork. Caught in a few places around here. But, I mean, the figure's fine. But that is a lot better than what just happened with that Phantom Menace card. So, again, I don't know if it's an age thing. Just this particular card. Or what. But, I still think... so it certainly seems to still be great. And much better than just slicing off or tearing off to get the TVC card backs separated from the bubble. Older than that, not so sure. So, I guess more testing we'll have to do. But thank you to the commenter on YouTube who asked for me to try a Phantom Menace figure to see. Let's just real quick see what we can do. I just want to try a corner of this. This is another recent acquisition of the R2-D2 from the Phantom Menace line. I can say it. I can make my mouth work to say the words. Let's just see if this... Real quick, I'm not going to do the whole thing. We're going to see if it just starts a little better than that Royal Guard did. Do it at an angle like that. I mean, there's always going back to the old method of just tearing. But, just trying to avoid that. Try and lift this just a little bit. Get it started. I think it's starting to tear again. Stop before it starts to tear. We got the little corner up. I mean, it lifted a little bit. It may just be that you need to go a lot slower with these, just based on the age. Lift, slow, slow, slow. That and stopping, I think, when you start to lift the artwork off. I mean, you can see it's a little bit better. It's still a little better than the Royal Guard. I also don't want to leave this heat on for too long before going back to try and lift. Okay, that's when it's starting. So I think that's when the plastic is starting to harden a bit again and reattach itself to the card back, is when you see the white starting to appear, because then it's starting to lift the card back again. So I think sort of if you stop there, things back up again. Look to see when it starts to lift. Turn that off. Bring the tool up. I'm doing like a little rotation here to try and lift a little. Okay, and you can feel the edge of the plastic start to harden again. And then you see the little white bits of where it's obviously lifting paper start to happen again. So, I'm not gonna go fully through this whole thing, because I think that'll take a little too long. But we'll see. I mean, if you can see here, it's already looking a lot better than the Naboo Royal Guard was going. So, I think it's a slow and steady approach, is what it's going to come down to. And I mean, I think it's going to preserve more than just tearing it. It's going to be just for the look of these things. And this is just, I like to keep them. I just like to keep the card backs. I think they're fun, but it's too much storage space to leave these things in the package. And also, it's not fun. It's fun to take your figures out, display them all together. You see how it is. Have fun. You know what? And if you like them in your package, leave them in the package. It's your collection. Do what you want with it. Whichever way makes you happy about the fun things that you have. No shame in however you want to treat your collection. But for me, I'm going to take these things out of the package. I'm going to save the card backs, and that'll be how we all go about doing our things. I'm rambling now because I should just end this live. I'm going to keep doing this. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, go over to, it's just Ken Plume is the channel. Go over there. There are Force 5 episodes. There's new shows coming up. I'm going to be adding a bit of a chat archives over there as well. So, yeah, I'm going to go back to opening this thing up. And I will see you there or somewhere later. Bye. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye. And if you got questions, go ask over on YouTube or on the comments here. Bye.